Hey everybody, welcome to Bura. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the 5 ways to track your productivity and be more productive. And the last one is going to surprise you, so please stick around to the end. Alright, so it's a new decade and it's time for a completely new you. But how do you get to the goals of your dreams? Well, it's pretty easy actually, or is it? Well, if you just think about it for a second, the best way to achieve your goals is to change something. But how do you change something? How do you change something in your life? How do you change your behavior? And that's exactly what we're going to be talking in this episode. So I'm going to give you 5 productivity hacks that I've personally used. So the first hack I have for you is to write everything down in a spreadsheet. And this is everything from time that you're being productive to time that you are wasting. And this can be anything from watching YouTube or playing video games or building that app or startup that you've always wanted to do. You want to do this because you want to track how much time you're being productive and how much time you are wasting. And sometimes it's good to waste a little bit of time, but if you really want to make a change, chances are you are wasting too much time. I know that I do this every year, and I look at some of my spreadsheets and I say to myself, why did I spend so much time on this particular thing when I could have been doing something more productive? Now, people do this all the time when they are budgeting. So if you write down your expenses or look at them on a spreadsheet or look at your credit card statements, which you should totally do anyway, you'll notice that if you spend too much on one particular item that you never use, you'll say to yourself, why did I spend so much money on that particular item? Well, the same thing is true for your time. If you want to make a difference in your life and you spend way too much time doing a particular thing, then perhaps you should get rid of that thing and do something more productive. The other thing about writing everything down in a spreadsheet is you can make these nice looking pie charts that will absolutely tell you what you need to be focusing on. The second hack I have for you is that if you are producing something, I recommend saving all of your projects into a daily folder, meaning that if you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in different folders, you can see what you do on a daily basis. This way, you can look and say, oh, Monday was really productive, Tuesday wasn't, Thursday was really productive, and I didn't do any work Wednesday. You can actually look at which days you were doing work and which days you were more productive, etc. And you always want to judge the output. The whole point of getting better is to take what you are doing and making just good decisions on how to do it better. So the best way to do this is take the extra 2 minutes to save all of your completed work to a daily folder. The third hack I have for you is my 10-10-10 rule. And if you've been following me or Mammoth Interactive for a long time, you'll know that I'll say this a lot. The 10-10-10 rule is that for every project that you do, you want to make it 10% better, 10% faster, and 10% more money. So the next project is going to be 10% better, 10% faster, and make 10% more money. Now, the last item, making 10% more money, is the hardest one to achieve, and sometimes it's completely out of your control. But the first two are completely 100% within your control. You can always look at the last project and say, I could do all of these things better, and I could do probably all these things a little bit faster. And if you try to make every project 10% better, 10% faster, and make 10% more money, you are going to improve. So after using this technique for many years, I have noticed that if you make a bigger project, it might take the same amount of time. So if you have 3 projects, let's say you're doing 1 project a month, and the scope is this big for the first project, this big for the second project, and this big for the third project. Even if you're using the 10-10-10 rule, the second project might take the same amount of time as the first project because it's bigger in scope. And that is something you also want to understand. If you can find a way to make bigger scope projects faster and quicker or within the same amount of time, that is absolutely the goal that you should be having. The fourth productivity hack that I have for you today is to change your location of work. Now, I like working in an office, but sometimes I will go to a cafe and just work. And sometimes I find that the productivity of working in a different location will absolutely make a difference. If you're finding that you're not being productive, change your work location. I guarantee you that it will either be really good and you want to do it more often, or you might not like it. However, even if you like going to an office every day or you have a specific room in your house that's dedicated to work, I highly recommend that you just try getting out a little bit. And sometimes if you just go out, you might meet someone or you might be more productive. So it's time for the last productivity hack. And as I mentioned, this one is a little bit surprising. Now, over the years, I have been underworked and I have been overworked. And sometimes when you're overworked, your productivity doesn't really go up. In fact, it can absolutely plateau. So you need to find out what your workload is. And once you've hit that workload, you need to take time off. And for me personally, I like to book time off. And since this video is made at the beginning of 2020, I just took 1.5 weeks off and I am very charged to go back to work. And I personally have to set aside time to take time off. And I've noticed that when I do this, I am more productive. So you always want to do more work in less time because this is the definition of productivity. And if you really want to think about it, you want to do more work in less time and make your work less frustrating. If you can figure this out, you will be absolutely productive. Alright, so that concludes this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. The more subscribers we get, the more content we can make. So smash that like button. Also, this channel doesn't do a Patreon. Instead, we sell our subscriptions to our huge library of content on mammothinteractive.com. You can get over 1,800 hours of content, and we release between 20 and 60 hours of fresh new content per month. Our goal is to get 10,000 paid subscribers to Mammoth Interactive, and by doing this, we will be the most productive e-learning company in the world, and we need your help to get there. If you're already a subscriber, I want to thank you because your help makes not only this channel possible, but it helps us educate the entire world. If you're looking to find out what kind of content we have on Mammoth Interactive, we have everything from Photoshop tutorials to game tutorials, all the way to web development and machine learning. We have a ton of content and release a ton of new content per month. So if you really like this channel, please consider subscribing because it really does help us out. Help us be the e-learning company of the future. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in another video.